everybody, it's your man James, Mr. Fun Treasure, back again with some more video action for you. Man, it's December already. Where has the year gone? Can you believe it? I don't know. I guess getting older just seems to go by quicker and quicker every year. But before we get out of the year that was, I want to thank you all for joining me today, and we're going to be once again taking a little stroll down memory lane as we find out why it's great. And this is the show I do where I take a back issue from my collection, and I tell you why I think it's awesome and why you yourself should want to check it out for your very own. And this one is going to be kind of special because again, now that we've gotten past the speed bump that is Thanksgiving, we all know what time it is, and so it's I just as I did in October when I did about the horror. This time, of course, since it's Christmas month, everything will be Christmas themed. So these all be Christmas themed stories you're going to see. Why it's great for this month. So I hope you enjoy them. Nice holiday thing to get you in the mood. Hopefully, raise your spirits, as it were, and can help bring a little cheer to you and your family, and have some fun with this. So I hope you get some enjoyment out of this. And before we go any further, I want to thank you all for joining me today and say, if you like what you see here, drop a like down here to help out the algorithms of the place, because that's always appreciated. Also, if you got any comments, drop them down below. I want to hear what you got to say about these issues, because it's always good to hear from the folks. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so you don't miss any of the content that is being put out around here. And if you have, share out some links and bring in some new people, because I always like to get those subscriber numbers up. So I appreciate any help you can give in that department as well. Anyway, I thank you again. And without further ado, let's get on into our book today, which is Amazing Spectacular Spider-Man number 173 from 1990. So let's get me off the screen and bring up the book. And here we are, Spectacular Spider-Man 173. It's as you can see, it's right here. Guess who dropped by for the holidays? So you can see again, like I said, it's going to be Christmas themed this month. So all these stories will have Christmas themes to them. And I really like this cover, because I like the way that the color, it's not even so much the art itself, but the coloring on this cover. I think that really helps it to stand out. This is something I learned from the great Dan Lawless. So you can see here for like these greens and light blues and stuff in the backgrounds, and yet it pushes forward the reds and the yellows and oranges right here in the front. So like almost like Spider-Man is like being pushed off the page into your face, and I like that shot of him. And of course, Sal Buscema, always great art. The great shadows he does on this. Like, look at how bold these lines are and all the shadows. I just love that image. Like I said, it really helps the character to stand out. This is at the point when Sal was already a well-known legend. His work with characters like Spider-Man and the Hulk and the Avengers and Captain America, so many others. He was already a legend in his own time here. And again, this is just more of the same. And this is when he had changed up his style when he came back to Spider-Man in the late 80s, working on this title. He changed up his style to be a little more modern than it had been, say, in the 70s, and I really appreciated it for that. So this is some good stuff right here. Like I said, just beautiful work. A very intense cover. As you can see here, I like how he has Doc Ock looking all just totally like, he's just totally relaxed while Spider-Man's here struggling for his very life. Again, very much the heroic thing. And we're going to see how does all this play into a Christmas theme? Well, we're gonna find out as we peel back this cover and head on into the interiors of the book. You can see here we start out. And another interesting point here is you can see here the plot and the script for the first 5 pages is by Jerry Conway, but the rest of the script is by Dave Michelinie, who was the Amazing Spider-Man writer at the time as well. And this is basically Jerry Conway's final issue on the book. So kind of funny that he chose a Christmas story to end his, I think, like 3.5-year run on this book on. But you can see right here some trouble happening at the shoreline there. Some ne'er-do-wells doing what ne'er-do-wells do when they get the attention taken by something rising up out of the water. And well, just by looking at it, you can tell already what that is. So, they get the idea that, hey, maybe we can get some stuff out of there. And when it opens up, well, we all know who was inside. Again, the shape of the little ship there should have told you exactly who it was. And it doesn't turn out well for them. You see, I like this right here. Look at this. The struggling, and then just snap, and they're all done. And then he just comes out, idiots. That's so these 3 panels right here so perfectly show you the mentality of Dr. Octopus. So perfectly right here. These top panel right here goes, "Small men with small minds are the bane of my existence." Just his total disregard for anyone who he sees as lesser than him. And I do like what Sal did here. I like, look at all the detail with all the snowflakes. I mean, these are all. Then this is the day before you had a lot of computer graphic stuff that could do this kind of thing and just add it in. This is when you had to hand draw it in, and I love that he does it. And again, they all look different shapes. Like they're not all the same shape, which is again how snowflakes should be, is because that's how it is with snowflakes. They're all unique. And so he heads out and he goes, too often in the past, they have disrupted my plans before I could achieve my goals. But on this of all nights, I have no patience for fools. My plans are made, and I will not be distracted or thwarted. Nothing must turn me from my purpose. I am in this. I am determined. So he heads off, gets in his car, and he tells him to take him where he wants to go, to Forest Hills and Queens, and we can see why. He calls him Dr. Octavius, but he tells him not to do that because no one can do that except for one person. Let the world curse the name of Octopus. I don't care, so long as so long as this one person knows me as the man I was, the man I could have been. The rest of humanity may hang, and we can see who he's focused on. So we know now why he's going to Forest Hills, Queens. And then we get a little brief moment here of holiday joy with Aunt May and Mary Jane and some other characters. Her cousin Christy and Willie Lumpkin, the mailman from the Marvel Universe, who I've often thought that Willie is sort of a stand-in for Stan Lee himself. I imagine this is how Stan always saw himself. So very interesting that they put that character in. You can see here just, there's holiday cheer, but there's also seriousness because, Mary Jane's cousin here at the time had an eating disorder. And so she was concerned, dealing with the holidays with lots of food. Chrissy used to be a secret binge eater who starved herself to stay thin. Eating that cookie in front of us and enjoying it was a triumph for her. So you can see, and then just like the whole classic family feel. So like they're really setting this off right by getting you build up for like this is the holiday season. And but of course she wishes her man was there, and then we finally get the star of this book in here after what 5-6 pages. We finally get a great shot of Spider-Man. Again, just look at that detail with all that snow in there. I mean, that must have been so hard to do back in these pre-computer days of just dropping stuff like that in over the image, where it's like you had to actually hand draw it on there. Because you can see each flake is defined. It's not like just some little like spot of whiteout or whatever, and then it's like, but you can see the line around each individual flake. And that is just crazy to me that someone will put that much effort and detail into an image like this. But here's Spidey trying to rush to get on his way home, and of course, as he does that, of course, there's always got to be problems. So see some more ne'er-do-wells out doing what they do to Santa Claus, no less. So Spidey shows up and he tries to be a little funny, as he always is. Be smart, give the man his money, or spend silent night in the emergency room. Again, just the classic Spider wit. We love it. But the guys aren't really impressed because of a charm campaign that had been launched by Thomas Fireheart a few issues earlier, where he was trying to help rehabilitate Spider-Man's reputation with the city. And so he put up like billboards like this. And you can see here they're laughing at him. He goes, "Yeah, what are you going to do? Sick a puppy on us? Ooh, I'm allergic to fuzzy animals. Save me." So just they're mocking him back, and so they don't think he's really serious. He goes, "I'm in such a super mood. I might even leave this guy conscious." And so Spidey's like, "Deep breaths, stay calm. Sure, you're humiliated, insulted, even degraded, but is that any reason to?" Yep. And we can see here, he takes care of business, not bad. Could use a bow, perhaps, but fairly festive, and just there it is. That's the way Spider-Man works. But of course, all this hasn't gone unnoticed. As the rival Nick Katzenberg, who also works at the Daily Bugle, who is like sort of the antithesis to Peter Parker, catches it all on film and he takes off. Spider-Man assaults innocent kids out for holiday fun. Jameson will buy these in a second. And so, there it is. He sees what happened, and he gets, of course, always perturbed, when things like that happen. But he gets a little bit of a consolations from Santa here. He goes, "Easy, kiddo. That's just the way of the world these days. Even Santa Claus don't get no respect." And and then there it is. So it's off. So a little fun, humorous moment here of some action, but also of the classic Spider-Man thing where like even when he's doing the right thing, it never really works out well for him. So Nick Katzenberger meets with a stoolie of his to get some information, which is going to play up later in the story. And then we head back with Spider-Man, who ends up at the holiday office party. Again, you can see here this is really a story that's not so much based on action, but it's based much more on the character stuff. Because like look at this right here, this shot of the Christmas party. I mean, and he even said himself, J. Jonah Jameson as Santa Claus. Now I've seen everything, and it's so out of character, and you see this great, the great shot here of the party. And so he comes in, and again, more little holiday humor, with him and Jonah exchanging gifts, and they're saying, just they each got the same thing. It better be expensive. Jonah, I love it. And then of course, Robbie Robertson, and then he shows Betty a gift he had bought for Mary Jane, hand carved crystal. MJ saw it at Cartier's, figured we could never afford it, but he skipped his lunches and stuff for a month to save out the money for it. And then of course, who shows up but Katzenberg, and he starts talking a bunch of nonsense, but you got some sweet treat waiting at home, huh, kid? Hot and spicy right from the oven. And so, I think I could get a piece of a Christmas pie myself. I think I could get a piece of that Christmas pie myself, Pally. And so he just totally annoying Peter, and he gets uses, he can't hold it in. He has to get a little something, so he gets him back. But of course, as always, it always doesn't work out well for him. Too bad. You of all people should know, Parker. Pretty birds are cheap, and that's the last straw, because then you can see what he does here. He goes, I had enough. I've had it, Katzenberg. Taunting me is bad enough, but if you ever make another crack about my wife, ever, I'll rip your bloody head from your shoulders. He's right through the table, into the eggnog, all over the place, and then he immediately sees, uh-oh. And he goes, the stress, the humiliation of those punks, Nick's constant digs. It finally happened. I lost control. See, this is always something that he's always been mindful of throughout his history. Is like his spider powers give him so much abilities above mere ordinary people that he has to learn to keep tight control, because if he doesn't and he just lets loose like he did here, somebody could get seriously hurt. And so he takes off, apologizing, and then, Katzenberg makes his threats of suing him, and he goes, hey, I'm on the floor here. Isn't anybody going to do something? And I love this. Betty Brant comes in. You ask me when I'm holding a full glass of eggnog? That's brave, Nick. Just so you can see that like the people here know that Peter isn't the problem. It's Katzenberg, and he gets the response he deserves. But he jumps out because he says he's got a meeting to go to, and then he goes and Bobby's. So I wonder what he's up to. But then Jonah comes in. I got a better question, Robertson. Who's going to clean up this mess? Bah. And there it is, a classic Scrooge look right there from Jonah Jameson. That is hilarious. So Spidey's heading on his way home. He goes, that was close. My powers give me a huge responsibility, and I lost total control. If I totally lost my head, I could hurt someone bad. And then he gets close to home, and spider sense goes off. He sees a limo, and he goes, has to be, he's wondering why the limo doesn't seem dangerous. Why does it seem like surprise? But it has to be something or someone. Did I say my evening was complete? I was wrong. And here it is. He sees it. There's Octopus right outside his aunt's home. And you can see here, he's watching. He goes, May Parker is the only woman who was ever kind to me. I'd hope we could spend this special time together. But she's already has the warmth of her family, her friends. A tableau in which I would only be an embarrassment. No, there's but one thing I can give that sweet lady now, a peaceful, undisturbed Christmas Eve. So he goes to leave. And then when he does, that's where Spidey jumps in. And again, not understanding the situation, he goes, I've had a bad night, and you're threatening Mrs. Parker is the last straw. And then this is where we finally get our action that we saw on the cover here. And I just love that shot right here of him just like leaping in, practically head first. Like he's not even worried about dealing. He's just Dr. Octopus. He's dealing with a character he's known for many years, and how he operates and how he fights, with those arms. And yet he's just so pent up with frustrations at all the stuff that's been happening throughout this issue that he just launches in head first without even thinking about it. I love that. And so, He goes, "Tell me I didn't come here for a combat, but but in my current mind frame, I welcome it." And he goes, "Better come closer, Doc. I can't hear you." And then, oh, that's why your mouth's full of snow. Just again the spider wit. I love this. This is what we always love about Spider-Man: the trash talk while he's fighting you. And so the fight continues. Some great action stuff here. He grabbed a tree and he just missed it. He goes, "You have to try better than that, slugger." And he goes, "With 6 arms, dear boy, I can." And then now that he's got him in his hands, he goes, "Now I've got you." And he goes, "Ah," used the words right out of my. And then what happens? May comes outside, and she sees what's happening. Even Ock there, and they both become. Look at this. I love this shot right here. This panel right here. They both, they go from like wanting to tear each other apart to both being embarrassed and you know, feeling shame. So he apologizes. Octopus apologizes for interrupting the merriment, and then he takes off. And Spider-Man's responses here are kind of cool. He goes, "Odd, he does seem sorry. Stranger still, he even seems a little sad." And again, just this great moment here of him slowly walking away. This again, this right here. This is the heart. This is the heart of the story right here. Even as bad a villain as Doc Ock is, even he needs somebody sometimes. So after it's all said and done, she kind of admonishes him a bit, saying, "I hope you didn't, if you chased him away." And he goes, "I'm not sure I'm a hero, ma'am. Maybe on Christmas Eve." No one's a hero or a villain. There's our moral. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Mm. Just a very touching moment. And again, with all the snowflakes, all that detail. I mean, this must have been like Sal's hand must have been hurting after drawing this issue with all that detail with those snowflakes. But it's a great little moral lesson to us all. That there are times when we should put aside our differences, our animosities, our anxieties and agitations to come together, and that's what this reflects. Like I said, a very beautiful moment. But then we come to the epilogue here with again Nick Katzenberg, who's this is his big meeting he was worried about, and he's taking some pictures of some guys. He goes to the right folks. These photos could mean trouble. To me, they'll mean a fortune when I sell them to the right folks. And so he's getting some pictures and of this person, and we don't get to see who they are. He goes, "I don't care about your stinky flower, buddy. Step into the," and he goes, "Got it, click." He goes, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." So now we get to see a little preview of stuff to come. Now, can you guess who this guy he's taking this picture of is? Can you guess? I don't want to spoil it here and tell you who it is because it would kind of ruin it. But can you guess who this is? Because this right here is giving you your big clue as to who he's got the picture of. And so even a guy like Katzenberg, on Christmas Eve is finds a way to find his own Christmas cheer. And so there you go. I mean, this is again just a very beautiful story, beautiful art by Sal Buscema. Just it wasn't very action packed. I mean, like I said, like these couple pages are about the only real action that you get in the book. And again, just great. I like this. I like the panel layouts, with the overlapping sometimes and things like that. I like how he handled this. These, the spider wit is in there. I love that too. All the things you expect of Spider-Man, but really, it's this. This is what it's all about. A nice little Christmas moral. And again, for a final issue by writer Jerry Conway, it's a nice touching way to go out. for Jerry Conway to end his, like I said, almost 4-year run on the book at this time. You know, like I said, these kind of stories are ones that they don't really register as like big favorites for people. Like if people think of these stories, they don't go, "Oh wow, that was like a monstrous story." It's not the death of Phoenix or Captain America quitting or Iron Man creating a new armor. Something that would like, get your attention. These are the quiet stories. And again, like I said, while there was some action in it, it's some very intense action. Even like I said, like this scene right here, where he just kills them without even a second thought. And they all end up dead. That's while there's some seriousness in this, it's a more a quiet story. And I think I miss stories like this in the books. Today's modern stuff. They have so much pointless talk about nonsense. Stupid political things or things like that. But where really what you want is a good moral story, and that's what you got here. Here's a guy who is evil, who was just looking for somebody to share Christmas with. And in the end, he didn't get it because of his evil nature. And yet we all learned that maybe we shouldn't be so judgmental at Christmas time. A very simple little moral. And yet it's so perfectly and beautifully displayed here, both visually and, thematically by Conway and Michelini and Buscema. This is like one of the quiet stories that people don't think about, in long runs of series. And to me, like this is like just a very beautiful little Christmas tale. It's right up there with like It's a Wonderful Life for its morality and things of that nature. And it's just something I really miss seeing in the comics today. You don't really see stories like this anymore. And again, I think we're all the poorer for that, both as both as an industry and even as a people. I think. Today's modern creators, I don't think would have the wherewithal to tell a story like this. I don't think they have it in them to do it, and that saddens me probably even more than the story itself here does. With how things turned out for Doc Ock. But yeah, just Spectacular Spider-Man 173. It's not an expensive issue. Like I said, there's no key of any kind. There's no major revelations. There's no big name creators that are like superstars or anything like that. It's just good, solid craftsmanship with a good Christmas moral to it, and just like I said, just a very good story. This is what comics should be every day of the year. As far as like how well this was told. This is probably going to like revolutionize anything or make you think of things in a different way than you did before, but it just reaffirms maybe what you already knew, and in a way that was entertaining and touching. And this is what comics should strive for in everything they do, is this issue right here. Which is why I was glad to bring this one up to you today. So I hope you guys enjoy this Spectacular Spider-Man 173. Again, a very, very small but very poignant, holiday tale, which hopefully will help put you more in the mood for your holidays with those you care about and love. So definitely check this one out. I can't recommend it enough. Spectacular Spider-Man 173. And I said the final Spider-Man story by Jerry Conway at least at this period. I'm not sure if he's done stuff in the more recent times, but like at this time he was leaving the books and going on to other things. And so a very nice way to end it, a very touching way to end a long run that you don't see the kind of which you don't see much anymore today. And so there we go, Spectacular Spider-Man 173. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below. I want to hear what you guys got to say. Did you like the little Christmas moral here, or did you think it was too overblown and too overly sentimental? Let me know what you think, because I always want to hear what you guys got to say. But that'll do it for now, and I'll be back soon with some more stuff in the near future. I'm always working on things around here, as you know, and I will have some more for you very, very soon. And so until next time, take care.